What a pleasant counterpoint. Look, I'm all for criticizing Donald Trump, but I got to tell you, I also don't know how to work the fryer at McDonald's. And would be incapable of doing so. But we're at that point in the campaign. It's a fever pitch. We can no longer discern the noise from the signal. We've lost the ability to understand what level of outrage to even demonstrate. Which brings us to this weekend, where the absurdity outrage cycle reached its apex at a Trump campaign in Pennsylvania.
I'm going to tell him the real story of Arnold. But Arnold Palmer was all man, and I say that in all due respect to women, and I love women. But this is a guy that was all man. He knew how to win, and he knew how to just do whatever it was that electrified a crowd. If I had him here right now with me, this crowd would be going absolutely crazy. They'd say, Trump, get off the stage. We want Arnold Palmer to speak.
Buddy, I think at that point, if anybody else was there, the crowd would want to hear from you. If you had a bag of Arnold Palmer's bones on stage, people would start screaming, let him talk. Your story is bad and long. It doesn't make any sense. Seriously, man, if you want a podcast, I'm sure someone will give you a podcast, and you can tell these stories to whoever wants to hear them, but they can also fold their laundry while they're listening. Oh, I didn't know you could make a living carrying sod. No one wants to hear this story. Even Trump's own crowd was completely silent, and he must have noticed because he then decided to spice up the story with some fun behind-the-scenes details.
I've told the story before, not in this kind of detail. Because, you know, you have these teleprompters. If I would read it off a teleprompter, it wouldn't be so good, right? And it would be a lot shorter. It wouldn't be as good. And I didn't want to do that. I said, when I come here, I'm going to tell him the real story of Arnold. But Arnold Palmer was all man. And I say that in all... He had a big Bertha right between his legs. He would just drop his trousers and hit the ball with his big old wangs, the golfers. Have I mentioned he's from Latrobe? Have I mentioned that 15 times? I feel like Trump might just be projecting here because he knows compared to Arnold Palmer, if you saw Trump's you-know-what in the shower, it would be a lot shorter.
And now, the same Republican Party that claims Kamala Harris is the one who won't discuss policy specifics is also dismissing Trump's bizarre obsession with Arnold Palmer's penis size as a non-issue.
Is this really the closing message you want voters to hear from Donald Trump? Stories about Arnold Palmer's penis?
Well, listen, I think that the headline that I read about the rally in Pennsylvania yesterday was the big question, and it's the one that Kamala Harris has not been able or willing to answer, and that is, are you better off now than you were under the Trump administration?
3 minutes I can understand. 10 minutes, it's a you problem. But I do get there is a double standard at play here. You imagine if Kamala Harris held a rally and like, Billie Jean King, her vagina, wow. She'd come out of the shower and all the other tennis players would shout, hello, hello, hello. Ask your parents. That would be madness. But for Trump, this was actually one of his milder genital rants. This was kind of his kids' bop genitals rant. Classy, body positive. He was complimenting somebody else. I don't know why we have to parse everything that this guy says so sternly.
We have two enemies. We have the outside enemy, and then we have the enemy from within. And the enemy from